prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take them!
Alright, we're here at the IPL. I am Tasteless, with me is Artosis. We are commentators from the GSL, so if you ever want to see more of us in the future, check us out at gomtv.net. Over here in the upper right, we have ViBE, a very talented Zerg, and down here in the bottom left is mOoNan from the team FXO.
You know, Tasteless, I'm really excited about this match because, well, ViBE is on 6 Jacks, the same team as myself, an amazing up-and-coming team, and FXO, another amazing up-and-coming team. In fact, they just up-and-came to Korea.
Yeah, they're out here in Korea right now. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of them.
Yeah.
Really cool guys, nice guys, all of them very ambitious. And you know, as you mentioned, 6 Jacks, I think they have a lot of potential as well. They're already so solid. And it's good to see these new teams coming out here in the future of StarCraft 2. Kind of a change of pace from some of these teams we've seen, some of these esports dinosaurs, if you will, that have been around for quite a while. So, yeah, both these guys very talented.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So the map is Crossfire SE, and Crossfire, kind of a weird map. I don't know how much longer this is going to be around competitively. A lot of times Zergs have a hard time here and then end up using Baneling landmines. That seems to be the way the game oftentimes flows. You know, using counterattacks, running around the Terran army can be one way to try to deal with it, but overall it seems to be a bit Terran favored.
Well, on a map like this, Terran wants to utilize the narrow pathways that the Zerg will try to attack them in. Zerg ideally want to be in an open area where they can surround or flank. So, as you said, you're right, Zerg has to counterattack a lot. The other problem for Zerg on this map is after the third base that the Zerg will take, which generally is in the upper left side of the map, every expansion the Zerg takes, you're essentially expanding towards the Terran. That's a little bit scary.
Yeah, that's so true. And one thing I do want to point out, as we see mOoNan doing a 2 barracks pressure build, which of course is an awesome build. Will he all in with it? Will he just pressure? We'll see in a moment. But one thing I do want to point out is that, as you said, yeah, Terran wants to utilize these small areas, you know, these small narrow paths, so Zerg can't really get good surface area, can't flank well. But with the Baneling in particular, if you do flank in those areas, it's going to be harder to spread Marines. So that's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes we do see Zerg clean up an army pretty well like that.
You know, another factor as well is that Zergs have tried to cope with the structure of this map by making Baneling landmines.
Yeah.
But, of course, Terrans have sort of caught on to that and learned that, so that's not as effective. Now, in this game, we see a bunker being erected over here, and no, there is no hatchery, but what he is doing is trying to contain the Zerg here. Let's see if it's effective.
Well, 4 Zerglings coming out, and they are going to run around and try to hit that Marine a little bit. He's going to want to be careful, though. 2 more Marines coming up, and those Zerglings look like they aren't going to be all that useful. Going after just the 3 Marines now. That bunker's still on the way, and some nice micro there, and SCV taking some of the Zergling hits, and no Marines dying.
Yeah, not a single Marine killed there. All 3 in the bunker. The Zerg did lose the drone and all the Zerglings. And this is a pretty bad situation for ViBE right now. I think ViBE expected to at least stop the bunker from being made and drive this back, but now ViBE in a terrible position.
Yeah, overall pretty sloppy, but he does have speed on the way. Does not want to lose that Overlord. 3 Marines up here, but here come the Zerglings, and they do not trap the Marines. A little bit of a misstep, and
these Marines are not dying.
Oh no, and the SCV not as well. Only 3 Lings left over. And now ViBE has to decide how to do this. Does he just go Mass Ling? Does he go Banes? Does he go Roaches? Does he just knock down the destructible rocks? And mOoNan making his command center. So he's like, well, I've contained you. Now I'm going to expand, and I'm going to get further ahead.
The Zerg is going to need to destroy the destructible rocks outside of his base. That's, I think, the most logical step. It shouldn't be... Oh, hold that thought. We have more Lings coming out here.
I don't know if this is the right amount. There's 8 Marines, and that is not too many Zerglings here. Nice little surround for a moment, but not surrounding those 3 Marines.
And the Queen,
oh,
a little bit suicidal there.
And I do not like what I just saw, Taste. It's definitely a big mistake there, losing not only a Queen and a bunch of Zerglings, but really not doing any damage. He traded all of that for about 3 Marines.
If you notice here, he's going to make a second hatchery in the main. This is not StarCraft 1. Now, granted, you know, ViBE is... he has a lot of minerals. You know, I mean, the second hatch is only going to be so useful right now. I don't know, man. This is not looking good at all.
No, it's not, but double barracks wall, and next to that double barracks behind the depot for mOoNan. Definitely wants to make sure that those Zerglings that ran out do not do any sort of Baneling bust on him. Very smart move there. But ViBE is just in kind of Zergling mode. I don't like the way he's handling this. You have to have an unbelievably overwhelming force to take out a bunker like that. But of course, there's that other path out. You can actually just kill those rocks, expand over there to the top left, and then just get a ton of lings, surround, kill the bunker, and take another base. So,
right, he's finally moving in here now. He's attacking the bunker, and he wiped out the Marine. The third hatchery is now on the way. It will be difficult for the Zerg to take a third base because he already has a macro hatchery here. And still the destructible rocks not yet torn down. This is just not looking good for the Zerg at all.
Yeah, just now destroying those rocks. I would like to see him actually just take another base right now. That might be what that drone was going down to do. You know, when your opponent does these really pressureful builds, normally they tech up a lot slower, as we see from mOoNan, just now getting his factory. And against the huge amount of speedlings that ViBE can produce right now, not a whole lot can be done. So I'd love to see ViBE take that third base and just drone madly for a moment. And in fact, that's exactly what he does. So now ViBE picking up the pace.
Note he did not take the second gas, so you're absolutely right. He's going to continue to get a lot of lings, just now taking that. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this game goes from here. Remember, this map is very narrow. And, you know, with that being said, it's going to be tough to have a lot of ling surrounds. But
exactly.
Yeah.
He's only going lings right now, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. Especially with 4 hatches, that's really going to make him think, okay, after I drone a bunch, I'm going to make mostly lings. Look at this, 28 drones to 30 SCVs. That is a bit low for our Zerg players, especially with that many hatches right now. And, you know, I'd love to see for him to actually just rush up maybe to Banelings.
Yeah, Banelings wouldn't be a bad idea. It looks like the Terran is going to go ahead and get a lot of Hellions here, and that's probably the best response to this many Zerglings, or the potential of this many Zerglings on the map. So, you know, this match already pretty exciting here at the IPL, or IPL. IPL, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
The IPL League.
Tasteless is casting IPL tonight. Everyone tune in.
Check it out.
Alright, so the Overlord does see SCVs mining from the natural expansion of mOoNan, so he realizes, okay, he's going into an eco game. 31 Harvesters for Terran, 38 for Zerg, so mOoNan ahead a bit, as you see on that income tab. That's just kind of how it goes, but bam, a bunch of drones just finished up. Blue Flame on the way, as well as combat shields. And if he does a combat shield Blue Flame Hellion timing, you know, ViBE doesn't have any spines yet, I don't think. His lair just about to finish, but really not equipped very well to deal with the possible incoming army. And yeah, it is in fact incoming, Tasteless. Zergling's not going to be good against that.
No, especially not with the angles that the Terran should have. The Zerg's going to have to try to surprise the Hellions here as they come up the ramp, and he does not, actually. So this is going to be pretty bad. The scan here to try to wipe out the Creep Timbers, you know, to some extent to try to bait the Zerglings into attacking. The Blue Flame is done.
Oh man,
this is pretty bad, Artosis.
Only 12 lings on the way. I'm not sure how he's supposed to deal with this, and mOoNan getting a little bit spread out, but there's still just too many units there.
Yeah.
Even giving the Zerglings more surface area, but no, there's just, between combat shields and Blue Flames, ViBE with a lone, what was that, 30 Zerglings total, not able to do anything here, and I think we might be seeing GG in just a moment.
Yeah, Transfusion not even going to save the day here. Well, look, this all goes back to the start. ViBE, I think there's better ways you could have handled that rush. You could have focused more on the rocks. You couldn't have kept using the Zerglings, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, and that's going to be GG.
And on we go in just a moment to game number 2.